grassland plant communities in North America and South America. This paper was worked upon by Sally E. Cornell and Scott L. Collins. Climate, fire and grazing are the factors which only influence the vegetative productivity of a particular grassland ecosystem. These three drivers, together with the inherent changes in the soil, are responsible for shaping the grasslands all over the world. The main aim of this paper was to see how the grassland community responds to this combined changes in this combined drivers, which may aid in projecting the future changes which may take place in the grassland ecosystem. The methods. Now for this experiment, two areas were selected, that is North America, and the experiment was carried out in North America and South America. In North America, the community structure, composition and function was studied at the Konza Biological Station, KBPS, in Kansas, USA. Now the climate of this region is normally temperate, with a rainfall, annual rainfall of about 609 plus minus 183 mm per year. Then the soil here was silk clay loam type of a soil, and this area was dominated by rhizomatous sipho grasses such as Andropogon and Sorghum. Now in South America, the similar study, that was the composition, structure and function of the grassland community, was studied at South Central Satara region of Kruger National Park, South America. The climate and the soil conditions were in both regions were almost similar. Here the climate was tropical type, then it was temperate. Here the rainfall was 518 plus minus 176 mm per year, and this area was dominated by Capitose perennial sipho grasses like this Gothria radicans digitaria, along with some woody species like acacia. Now after these two places were selected, in North America watershed level fire experiment was carried out, whereas in South America a grazing experiment was carried out. This was the site which was in North America and South America, which was selected. After the selection of site, here North America, a watershed level fire experiment was carried out. Now for this experiment, they selected two blocks. One block which was annually burned, called as the frequently burned block, and one block which was burned after every 2 years, called as infrequently burned block. Now this was in North America. In South America, a grazing experiment was carried out. Now for this grazing experiment, a total of 900 hectare area was selected. In this 900 total hectare area, fence was put up, and in this area about 40 to 80 Cape buffaloes were stocked in. Now inside this enclosure, again two blocks were used. In that total 900 hectare area, two blocks were used. One block was frequently burned, that is annually burned, called frequently burned block, and the other one was infrequently burned, that is after every 2 years. And the infrequently burned block was prevented from cattle in the year 2002. This experiment was carried out in the year 2002, and in North America this was carried out in the year 1977. Now in each of this block, 7 rain-out water shelters were fixed. So a total of 20 rain-out water shelters were used. Now this rain-out shelters, they had 1 meter square permanent vegetation beneath, and they were designed in such a way that it would reduce 50% of the precipitation and thus created drought-like conditions underneath. Now adjacent to each of these rain-out shelter, about 3 to 4 meters, at about 3 to 4 meters distance, a 1 meter square pad rainfall patch was selected. The rain-out, this will create a drought-like condition, whereas this rainfall patch will not show, it will receive rainfall, that means it will not show any drought-like condition. Now here, this ambient rainfall plot which was selected was divided into 4 blocks, subplots, in order to simulate grazing. So what they did was, after dividing this plot into 4 areas, in A and in D, clipping was done, grass was clipped, so clipping was done, whereas in B and C, clipping was not done because it was used as a control. Then again volumetric water content was estimated weekly during each growing season. The results. This diagram shows the effect of simulated grazing, that is control versus clipped, and precipitation, that is ambient versus drought, on plant community diversity. Now this was in North America and this was in South America. Now this diagram shows the effect of grazing on the community diversity. So it was seen that in North America, in infrequent fire area, clipping increased the. You can see that clipping. This black color diagram shows black color. This bar shows that it represents clipping. So in North America, in infrequent fire area, it was seen that clipping was responsible for maximum community diversity, whereas in the frequent fire area, clipping was also responsible for the higher community diversity. But at the same time, drought was responsible for decrease in the community diversity in the unclipped areas. So in the unclipped area, drought was responsible for decrease in the diversity, but in the clipped area, in the area which was clipped, clipping was responsible for increase in the diversity. In infrequent fire areas, again clipping was responsible for increase in the community diversity due to increase in richness, whereas here neither clipping nor drought had any effect on the community diversity. This shows the effect of grazing and precipitation on the grass cover. This is in North America and this is in South America. In North America, they showed that clipping increased. This is in North America, South America.
South America.
Yeah.
South America or Africa. Kruger National Park is in Africa. See.
Yeah, sorry, Africa. In North Africa, it was seen that clipping resulted in increase in the grass cover and evenness because the species richness was more here. Clipping and drought both resulted in decrease in the grass cover in this infrequent fire area. The effect of clipping on the grass cover was low in 2009. But at the end of 2011, it was seen that there was 26% decrease due to clipping here, whereas drought showed 10% decrease only in the year 2011. Here it was again the clipping, the effect of clipping again here. Clipping again resulted in decrease here in this diagram, but here it was 36% decrease, here it was 26%. And drought resulted in 7% decrease here. In Kruger, it was seen that in infrequent fire areas, again the effect of clipping went on increasing, and by 2011 there was 26% decrease, and drought resulted in here's 11% decrease, but it was regardless of the year. Here it was only seen in 2011. Here it was regardless of the year. Here neither drought, clipping resulted in decrease in 2010. Clipping was responsible for decrease in the grass cover, but drought did not have any effect. This shows the effect of precipitation and grazing on the stem density on above ground net primary productivity of the grassland and below ground productivity of the grassland. Discussion. It was seen that clipping was the main factor here that was controlling both the productivity and community composition. By increasing the diversity and reducing the above ground net primary productivity, it was seen that drought resulted in decrease in the community diversity in frequently burned areas. This is because frequently burned areas are functionally dry. So there are no chances of the grass growing again and again to the full disc. Whereas drought resulted in a decrease in the above ground net primary productivity only in infrequently burned areas. This is because infrequently burned areas have more heterogeneous plant community and they are variable over time as compared to frequently burned areas. In South America, it was seen that neither clipping nor drought had any effect on richness, evenness, and form, that is other herbs which are present. This is because the forms were not directly responding to the changes in the disturbance in the ecosystem. Then it was seen that grasses compensate by increasing the tiller size to create a no net effect on the grassland ecosystem with response to rainfall reduction. Whereas it was also seen that grazing increases the sensitivity on the grassland when there is a change in precipitation. Finally, it was concluded that drought was not the only primary driver of the grassland fertility, but instead drought had effects which were similar to or more or less as compared to that of the fire. Even though the grasslands had a different history of origin, they both responded in a similar way to the conditions that were imposed on them during the experiment. So, and thus it was seen that there was a community and ecosystem convergence in both the North Africa and South Africa grasslands. So they said that grazing and fire was as important as climate in maintaining the productivity and composition of the grassland.